How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are showcasing a unit I didn't really get to play around with before due to my accident, and that was the INT Super Saiyan Trio. Actually been very much looking forward to this EZA. This is probably one of my favorite units from 2023. I was one of those people who didn't really like the Fusion Zamos era, and this unit just came in and just totally stomped it while also building up one of my favorite teams, that is the Super Saiyan team. So we're going to rock these guys out and test them out. So you see there we grabbed 6 key spheres with them, which means we are not going to get their full passive, right? They need 9 to get their full passive, but they're still going to be looking pretty good, as you're going to see here, even with only the 6, right? Obviously, we're going to try to push the 9 wherever we can, but this is still going to work out pretty good. So we're going to grab this here. And we'll let Goku tank. Honestly, I think with the full key spheres, they can actually go slot 1 in this fight. I have to test it, but their slot 1 capabilities are actually not too bad. All things considered, it's actually pretty good. Especially post turn 1, right? After turn 7, that changes a little, mind you, right? They are a unit designed to be used within 7 turns, which is not the worst thing in the world as long as they're good within those 7 turns, right? They're niche use, which is not a terrible thing. So you can see here coming out with 48 million for an opening attack and not with their full amount of key spheres. That's honestly not too bad. I do like that they made it easier to get their additional supers. As you guys remember, it was often rather difficult to get their additional supers before, and their defense was heavily reliant on it. But now, not as much. Since the chance is greater, it's easier to get them. And secondly, right, they're also buffing allies with their super attacks now. So that's really nice. That's really helpful, right? If you could honestly set up a rotation with, LR5 guys, and then these guys on rotation 1 and rotation 2, ending with like a Daima Goku or something, like that super is going to hit incredibly hard if you could actually pull that off. There's only a few teams you could actually pull that off on, but it would be interesting nonetheless. So we're going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm pretty sure, just kind of based on the layout here, that the 2 Gohans are probably going to finish the fight here. I mean, Gohan after the super and his attacks is probably going to do enough damage to put us close that, a super and a counter from Beast Gohan is probably going to take him out. There we go. Right, especially if we get those crits on his additional supers. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we do need to make sure that, 1, we set up the Gogeta turn, which means we want Goku revived, and we want Gogeta back on rotation on the turn with the active skill for the trio. If we can get it, great. If not, that's okay too. It's not a big deal. Very nice. All right, and then we get the additional super for our Beast Gohan. I'll never understand why people hate this card so much. He's so much fun to use. Like, I have no issues. Okay, we do get an additional normal, and I think the counter should do the trick here. We also, of course, want to make sure we get Piccolo with his passive up, so we'll need him to take a hit at some point during this. Whether or not that is actually possible remains to be seen, but here we go. We do have the first phase down. No problems to be expected, right? So in the second phase here, we're going to go ahead and drop Goku back in slot 1. Since we're still at full HP, he's still going to be rocking that slot 1 capabilities. And that might honestly be the hardest thing here, is actually forcing Goku's revive if we can get it. So here you go. As I mentioned earlier, it is actually fairly easy to get their key spheres. As you can see, right, we did change enough key spheres that they will be able to grab the 9 here. We just got to make sure we set up Goku correctly here. Okay, so now we're going to grab that. There we go. Like I said, we just set that up, and we'll grab our INT key spheres with the trio here. I actually like watching their battle motion. I mean, look at that. It actually looks really cool, right? With the flow, the Super Saiyan, or actually, like, sitting here just admiring this. This actually looks really cool here. Okay, excellent. All right, and we'll grab those. Perfect. So we got our 11, and then we'll send off Beast Gohan here. So should be pretty decent setup. Honestly, you know, I probably should have tried to slot one them there, but it's also, I mean, it's kind of fine, right? You know, breaking. They're a decent slot 2 unit with emergency slot 1 capabilities. That's what we'll call it. Emergency slot 1 capabilities. But for the most part, all right, we're going to want to keep our rotation set up like this. So we'll just keep running this. So Bertku, tanking in slot 1. Curious where that super is going to be. Actually, I would kind of like to see them eat the super, which we might get our wish here. So 59 million on their second appearance, not bad. And I mean, you see this, we have no support. Bertku doesn't start supporting until he revives. So this is just like straight up raw. It's kind of one of the reasons I don't like them on Beast Gohan's team, because Beast Gohan's team is mostly designed around to support Beast Gohan, not really these guys. They need a better team. More probably Super Saiyans is going to be where they're going to receive most of their buffs, I'm willing to bet. But this is what we got to rock for now. So did not get our Keyshires, so we only got one additional super, but we actually got the dodge. Very nice. Do appreciate that. Another dodge. Wow, getting lucky with those dodges today. Excellent. Okay, so we might actually, all right, well, actually looking at the setup here, we might actually pull off a decent mid portion of the fight here, right? Because this one is always tricky, right? Because, you know, you could easily build him up too quickly and have some trouble, but honestly, he's doing pretty good. Remember, we have an additional 40% damage reduction through this, so I mean, they're probably pretty safe even if we didn't dodge, and we only have a 50% chance to dodge, mind you, and I don't have any extra dodge built into mine, so this is actually kind of crazy that we're getting that extra 50%. So let's see here. All right, we're probably going to plug Gohan in slot 1. I kind of wish there were more attacks in slot 2 just to ensure that Gogeta is safe there. I'm a little worried about that turn, but let's see here. All right, so yeah, let's pop Gohan in slot 1. We'll grab that. We'll grab that, and I'm gonna swap into Goku, right, and pray for that dodge. Although I'm kind of hoping we just kill this time. We could have definitely killed if there were more attacks in slot 2, I think. But we know we don't have to worry about Gohan, right? We know he's going to tank this. Okay, well, maybe not tank, but live, and that's all that matters, right? So we do live this. And now we know we're pretty secure for the rest of the turn. And the question is, can we do enough damage to take him out? I feel like we're going to be cutting it really close here. Okay, I think it's going to depend on how much damage we do with Beast Gohan. There's a couple attacks in slot 2, so if we can get some crits, honestly, with type, we might actually be able to pull this off. I think it's really going to depend on how this, okay, we do get the crit. What about on the additional super? Okay, we're going to need a second super here. Okay. All right. And then how about our counters? How's our counters going to do? This is a pretty decent counter. 18 mil times 3. Ooh. Okay. Let's get the crit here. Get the crit. It won't kill, but it should put Gogeta in range to kill. Yes. Okay, perfect. And it did exactly what it needed to do. We'll get a couple additional supers thanks to getting the 24 key. And we should be able to pull this off. Excellent. And there we go. Excellent. Okay, and that drives us into turn. What is this? 5? Turn 5. Okay, we're on turn 5. Okay. So we still got one more turn of their max passive, right, to really take advantage of them. Pretty decent defense too, honestly, but we're going to grab the 11 Keyshires here, and we're going to put them in slot 1. We know Goku super slot 1, and I want them to die. So I want them to just eat the super. We die, hopefully, and then set up the final turn. That's all we need to happen. So here we go. We get the super, and oh my goodness, we actually got the fifth. Why do I never get this dodge lock when I really need it? So 59 million in here. So that's pretty much where you're going to expect to see them without any support, right? With a decent link partner. So that's not. I mean, that's not bad damage considering they're doing quite a few extra supers. Although that's not a super. That's a normal. That's also a normal. There we go. Okay, we did get one additional super. That's nice. But now I don't think we're going to die because I think even though we did lose Goku's extra stats because we fell below the 59%, I do think he still has enough to live. So we're saying 3 Goku's attacks here, even if Goku crits. So, yeah, that's not good. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. And also, he's not critting, so that's not good either. Here we go. Okay, so Piccolo. All right, well, at least Piccolo's going to take his hit, right? Hopefully. And then we'll get that bonus activated. Oh, wow, he actually double supered. I didn't expect that. Okay. And he takes the hit, and then we get the dodge. Excellent. So now we have that bonus activated. And then, okay, so we just get through this turn. So I'm actually not going to use the Gamma support for the addition to allow Beast to do the additional damage because I need to save some HP for the next turn, right? We want to get that. I don't want to kill with the active skill. That's the thing. But I do also want to make sure that these guys can survive the crit here. So let's see. All right, so we're gonna pop Gohan. We're gonna pop Gohan's active here, so that way we can heal up at the minimum, right? Heal up, so that way he's protected. Let's see here. All right, so we got that. So we'll get the extra stats as well for doing that, as well as get the heal. And you know what? We'll just pop both Beast Gohan's actives here, just to ensure the extra defense in case we eat a crit. Although I don't, actually, it's been a minute. But actually, well, I mean, with no links active though, right? A crit could potentially hurt us. So let's just grab that, and then we will send off the 3rd Beast Gohan here, and then we just need to survive the turn. Alrighty, there we go. So excellent, and Gohan does tank that nicely. Where's that super at though? There it is. All right, so we did want to put him here because we don't want him in the middle trying to eat that super. He's actually better in slot 1 to eat that super, so a little more damage than I would have liked him to take, but is what it is. Thankfully, it wasn't a crit. That could have been potentially dangerous. Although Beast Gohan with the crit, with the active would have been fine there, but is what it is. It also makes sure we don't deal too much damage. I also didn't want to put Beast there to do because he would end up dealing too much damage with his counters. So this way, right, Beast is only going to get off his supers and looks like just 1 counter in each slot, which should allow us to set up nicely for the Beast and the Trio and the Gogeta. There we go. And then there goes the super, which Beast should tank here. There we go. We get 1 more additional. Oh man, we're going for it. We went for all 3. There we go. And then that goes the counter. And 1 more counter. Okay, so, I mean, the nice thing is without the links, we're not as strong, although we're still hitting some good damage there, surprisingly. Okay, but he's still got a decent enough health that I think he should still be able to live the active from Gogeta and from the Trio and allow us to attack with the Trio. So, okay. Alrighty, so we're going to move Gogeta into slot 2 and pop his active. That's ideally what we want to do here. Alright, we swap back in. And let's pop that active. Alrighty, just don't change my int sphere. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, well, no, it changes AGL, so actually our int spheres are safe here. Okay, that's good. So let's pop the Gogeta here. Excellent. Alrighty, and now let's go ahead and pop that trio active. Or, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to kill. I mean, it's definitely going to break the damage barrier, but I don't think it's going to kill here. So we should be okay. And just in case things go wrong, of course, we have the revive. I hope we don't end up proccing that revive, right? But, yeah, we should be okay here. Well, actually, oh, wow, look at that defense. And that's with their damage reduction, right? Because we're still within the 7 turns, so we got the damage reduction. So let's go ahead and pop that active skill. Ooh, nice. Okay, that was actually a lot more than I thought it would be. Okay, so we have that 50% chance to dodge. We have that damage reduction. I actually want to see if we can live here. I think we could live if it's not a crit. I think if it's a crit, we die, right? But we have the revive, so we're okay if that happens. But let's go for it. Let's go for it. So let's see here. All right, we're going to want to grab... Let's see. Okay, well, there's only 2 rainbow there, so I guess we're going to have to go with that for the Vegeta here. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab that. And let's send off the bird coup. All right, let's do it. Okay, so let's see how we do here. So we do take the normals nicely. We get the 50% chance to dodge. Here's the super. And we get dodge. Very nice. And we hit with 91 million. Okay, I think we had... So that actually could have been 100 mil if we had actually got the bird coup revive. It's a shame we didn't get that. We'll definitely try to juice him up a little more. But not bad. Not bad. 59 million. Okay. I love it. Excellent. One more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we did some good damage here. And we're still going. Look at that. Okay, and it looks like Gogeta is going to wrap things up here. Very, very nice. All right, yeah, there we go. 40 mil on him. Actually, honestly, not that bad considering what? That's 1 turn of stacking. That was 1 turn of stacking, actually. Oh, okay, of course he dodges it. Okay, but the second one. Yeah, you're not dodging that second one. Alrighty, so there you go. Like I said, I was really excited to do this showcase. This is a unit that I loved in 2023. Super Saiyan's probably one of my favorite teams when it was in its heyday. And in its heyday, it lasted a little while. Remember, we got quite a few Super Saiyan buffs leading into Saiyan Day the following year. And it was a pretty fun team. And it's kind of nice to have them back. And it's also nice that they kind of not just on Super Saiyans, but have a decent movie heroes build too. Although I think by the end of this GDC, they might have a really good Super Saiyans build that they'll work into with a lot more access to some better supports here. Because of course, right, again, the Beast Gohan team support kind of more centers around supporting Beast Gohan than it does these guys, as they don't really benefit from AGL Gohan or the Gamma support who we typically want to activate. So regardless, still fun EZA, and I can't wait to use them some more. So guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of their EZA? I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty fun, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.